I just wanted to do an experiment with Grok, which is released by XAI. I've been using ChatGPT voice mode, and Grok has released Grok voice mode with Grok3. I got access to it just today, so I was really surprised by the answers it gave in the first attempt. So let me ask a question and you watch this. We are going to be surprised as well. So here it is. Hey, I'd like to understand the vitamin D deficiency in Indian population. Actually, most of the Indians seems to have vitamin D deficiency, even though it's a tropical country with a lot of sunlight. What is the reason?
Vitamin D deficiency is surprisingly common in India, even though there's abundant sunlight. Several factors contribute to this. 1. Lifestyle and clothing. Many people work indoors and wear clothing that covers most of their skin, reducing sun exposure. 2. Dietary habits. Traditional diets might not include enough vitamin D-rich foods, and vegetarianism is common, further limiting sources of vitamin D. 3. Melanin content. Darker skin has more melanin, which reduces the skin's ability to produce vitamin D from sunlight. 4. Pollution. Air pollution can block UVB rays, which are necessary for vitamin D synthesis. These factors combined lead to widespread vitamin D deficiency despite the tropical climate.
So now I am going to ask Grok from XAI. So here it is. So I'm going to the voice mode. Hey, I have a question regarding vitamin D deficiency in Indian population. In India, most of the people have vitamin D deficiency, even though there is plenty of sunlight and it's a tropical country. Why do you think it is?
The vitamin D conundrum in India. It's quite the puzzle, isn't it? Even with all that glorious sunshine, many folks are running low on vitamin D. One big reason is that the sun's rays aren't as direct as they are in the tropics. Plus, the skin tone of many Indians acts like a natural sunblock, which is great for avoiding sunburn, but not so great for soaking up vitamin D. And let's not forget, many people cover up with clothing or sunscreen when they're out in the sun, which blocks those vitamin D making rays. It's a fascinating mix of geography, biology, and lifestyle.
What was the first point again?
Oh, sure. The first point is that the sun's rays in India aren't as direct as they are in the tropics. Even though it's a tropical country, the angle of the sun's rays means less vitamin D production compared to places closer to the equator. It's like the sun is playing hide and seek with vitamin D.
Alright, so what do you suggest?
Well, getting a bit of sun exposure between 10 a.m. and 3 p.m. a few times a week can help. But if you're worried about skin damage, a vitamin D supplement might be the way to go. It's like giving your body a little vitamin D boost, kind of like a cheerleader for your immune system.
All right, thank you. So basically what I observed is the last time I asked Grok, it directly said that sun's rays are angled differently, and in the midday when the sun is high up the skin, UV rays can penetrate us easily. So that's what it said. So which was an answer I never expected from anywhere else, and it's really surprising. Yeah, we can go to ChatGPT and ask about the angle. So let's see what it has to say. What do you have to say about the angle of the sunlight and vitamin D deficiency? Can you tell me about it?
The angle of sunlight affects vitamin D synthesis in the skin. When the sun is lower in the sky, such as during early morning, late afternoon, or winter months, the UVB rays have to pass through more of the Earth's atmosphere, reducing their intensity and making it harder for the skin to produce vitamin D. This is why the time of day and geographical location matter. In tropical regions, even though there's plenty of sunlight, lifestyle and other factors can still lead to deficiency. It's important to get rays are strongest for optimal vitamin D synthesis. Does that help clarify the connection?
Yeah, that's amazing. Thank you. And See, and let me go back to Grok, and I have to check with the previous chat. So wait a minute. I'm going to ask Grok once again. So I have a question regarding vitamin D deficiency in India. A lot of people seems to have lower vitamin D levels, including me, even though in India there is plenty of sunlight and it's a tropical region. So why do you think it is?
Suresh, that's a great observation. Even with all that sunshine, many of us are still low on vitamin D. It's like our bodies are missing out on the sun's memo to produce more vitamin D. One major factor is that our skin tone is like a natural sunscreen, which is fantastic for avoiding sunburns, but not so great for soaking up vitamin D. Plus, we're often indoors or slathered in sunscreen, which blocks those UV rays that help produce vitamin D. And let's not forget, our diets might not be as rich in vitamin D as we'd like. It's quite the puzzle, isn't it? But the good news is, a little awareness and some smart choices can help us crack this case wide open.
All right. So is there any other reason?
Oh, for sure, Suresh. Another piece of the puzzle is that even though we're in the tropics, the angle of the sun can play tricks on us. In the northern parts of India, especially in winter, the sun's rays aren't as direct, so our skin gets less vitamin D action. And then there's the whole issue of vitamin D metabolism. Some of us just aren't as efficient at processing it. It's like the sun, skin, and diet need to be in perfect harmony for vitamin D levels to be just right. But don't worry, we're all in this together.
So the angle of the sun. I'm in South India. So can you tell me what is the problem with the angle of the sun and how does it impact the vitamin D observation or protection? So how to fix it?
In South India, you're closer to the equator, which means the sun is more direct. This is good news for vitamin D production, but it doesn't mean you're off the hook. The sun's intensity can be higher, so you're more likely to burn or tan, which can make you want to avoid the sun. Plus, the same skin tone that helps protect you from UV damage also makes it tougher to produce vitamin D. The solution? A bit of sun exposure during the safer hours, like early morning or late afternoon, along with a diet rich in vitamin D, or even a supplement if your levels are really low. It's all about finding that sweet spot between enjoying the sun safely and getting enough vitamin D.
All right, so Grok is not answering me the way I got the answer the first time. The first time I asked the question, it talked about the angle directly. So that was really surprising, and it said how to be in the sun. So can in the midday, so actually around 12 p.m. when the sun is high, it said that UV rays can penetrate us better in the head face so that we can produce more vitamin D. This is not being repeated, but however, it somehow got the angle right? Unlike ChatGPT, Grok said the angle of the sun matters, and that's how I came to know about the angle of the sun in the first place. So I asked ChatGPT twice, and it didn't give that answer related to the angle of the sun. But here it is, Grok is giving that answer almost all the times, except the last time, obviously. So out of 3 times, Grok gave twice. So, hey Grok, you were listening to me, right? What's your answer for that?
Suresh, I hear you loud and clear. The angle of the sun does matter, and it's like the sun is playing a game of hide and seek with its rays. At midday, when the sun is directly overhead, the UV rays are strongest and can penetrate more effectively, which is great for vitamin D production. But remember, it's also the time when you're most likely to get a sunburn, so it's all about balance. A little sun exposure during these peak hours, especially on the face, can help boost your vitamin D levels. But don't forget to protect yourself too. It's like trying to catch the perfect wave. You've got to be ready for the right moment.
So how is that midday sunlight helps? Why is that better than evening or in the morning? And how does that angle matter?
Midday sunlight is like the sun's VIP session for vitamin D production. The rays are more direct, which means they can penetrate your skin more effectively, giving you that vitamin D boost you need. In the morning or evening, the rays are less direct. which is gentler on your skin but less effective for vitamin D. It's like the difference between a direct hit and a glancing blow. The angle matters because when the sun is directly overhead, the rays have less atmosphere to travel through, so you get a stronger dose of UV rays. It's all about maximizing those rays while still playing it safe.
All right, great. So you have observed that how Grok is able to answer better in this circumstance. In fact, I had this question about vitamin D deficiency, and even a scientist and many doctors don't know the reason behind it. In India, why is that? Now it's clear. But Grok said the answer at the first attempt, which was really surprising. Unlike ChatGPT, I asked twice with ChatGPT, it didn't give the answer. So yeah, so I think it's also important to use different AI models for the same thing question, if you can afford it or if it is free, so that you can get at different angles of the question, and then you can put it all together when you're doing some deep research. By the way, this is not even deep research. This is just a language model answering me. If you go into deep research, we may get better answers even in ChatGPT and like Grok. So that's something you can try it out, and maybe I'll try it out and post later. So get your son in the midday if you are in India, South India, and midday for 15 to 30 minutes, as they say, and you will get the enough UV rays directly on you to get the vitamin D production, or how that works. Okay, have a good day.